All right, hello and welcome to Political Voice. I am Moses Humphrey. Now, first we want to serve you the latest updates of everything that we think is worth your knowledge from around the world, of course. First off, there's little evidence of little evidence of a let-up in the Middle East, where Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced an emergency government with an opposition party leader, Benny Gantz, for the duration of the war. Opposition leader Yair Lapid has not joined Gantz, but a statement said a seat would be reserved for him on the war cabinet. Now, in a dramatic escalation of Mideast tensions, Israel declared war on Gaza in response to a surprise attack by Palestinian terror group Hamas on Israel over the weekend, in which more than 500 rockets were launched on southern Israel. Now, still on the conflict, United Nations Palestinian Refugee Agency has said it needs $104 million for life-saving aid to Gaza, which has been pounded by Israeli reprisal strikes following attacks by Hamas against Israel. The agency, which was already facing financial difficulties, said it had enough funding to continue its regular services, including education, healthcare, and social protection across the region until the end of October. Bringing it home to Nigeria, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general elections, Peter Obi, has stated that the certificate saga of President Bola Tinubu has further worsened the country's less than glorious image in the world. Now, while addressing a press conference in Abuja on Wednesday, Obi stated that the certificate issue has affected the average Nigerian within and outside the country. Oh, well, that's how far we traveled around the world as we now head into the main topics for today's conversation. Now, in our first major topic for conversation, barely 3 weeks after cultists murdered the divisional police officer of Ahuada Division in Rivers State, SP Bako Angbashin, in a most gruesome manner, the State Police Command is in the news again. However, unlike the news of the killing of the DPO, which sparked nationwide outrage and elicited sympathy for the police due to his exceptional display of gallantry in tackling acts of criminalities in the state, the latest reports of allegation of extortion against top officers of the force in the state has scandalized the entire police hierarchy. Now, despite the efforts of the police authorities to remove the bad eggs from the force, some of the operatives, including very senior officers, have continued to act like what some would call common criminals. Well, it beats the imagination of many Nigerians how some police officers manage to rise to senior positions with their criminal tendencies and unprofessional conduct. Well, the force public relations officer, Prince Olumiyiwa Adejobi, an assistant commissioner of police ASP, announced recently that the monitoring units of the Inspector General of Police IG had commenced an investigation into the allegation of extortion leveled against the Rivers State Police Command following a petition by a Delta State-based rights advocate, Israel Joe. Well, my guest this morning on Political Voice to touch on this issue and the other one that we'll get to in the course of the program, Moses Adebayo, who is an educationist and a public affairs commentator. We also have Henry Ugochukwu. He has, there are many. He has a lot of caps actually. He's a minister of the gospel, a journalist. He's a social affairs commentator, and a whole lot more. But let's just keep it within these few ones. So good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
And hello to the world. Good morning.
Now, here we are again. I know that talking about the police and extortion, they seem to go side by side right now, which is not good, really. But that's the reality of the time. Now, there is this revelation. It's not a new one, but it's reoccurring. It's not the first time we're talking about this anyway, but we will continue to talk about it as long as it makes the news. Now, we are hearing again that the extortion goes all the way up. So one wonders, who then is to discipline who if those at the top are, culpable?
Let me say this, for real, this is reminiscent of Fela Anikulapo's prophecy by way of song. He said some decades back, almost 4 decades ago, that an average DPO now, divisional police officer, is a bank manager. And his recruits on the street that go about, extorting, those ones are like bank servants or cashiers. And it's not unfortunate that decades on, they still have these optics on them. And to make it even worse, Rivers State. Not too long ago, they lost one of their top-ranked officers there by way of decapitation. It was killed in the most gruesome manner. They've not even tackled this. We've had in the news how that they've arrested some people, they've apprehended some on the run, but not again with this. It has become so shameful, so embarrassing that they just need to do something drastic. And I still want to hold on to what the acting IG said at inception, that he has both a tiger and a lion living in him. I hope this will not just be mere talk, not that he has given us just some bites. He must act. Otherwise, we can't afford to still have this about police. The immediate past IG did something rather commendable. At least 3-4 times, I remember very well, he summarily dismissed some erring police officers. I hope Tunde Egbedokun will continue in this stead. We can't afford to have this as a police. They represent us, and they must represent us very well. Otherwise, it is not worth calling them our representatives. So let the police act, and drastically too. This must not go under the proverbial carpet anymore.
Right. Now, to throw more light, before I take your view on this, Henry, to shed more light on this, there's a petition filed. In the petition filed, Joe, the person petitioning the police, accused the Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of the State Criminal Investigation Department, SCID, and 2 other officers of extorting 18 million from a surveillance contractor at 2B Division. 80 million. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money indeed. Henry, please.
Okay, my reaction to this is, if he has his proof, he can present it. There's nothing wrong in petition. Once the guy has his proof, he can present it. And I believe there's still justice in this country.
All right, so if he has his proof, yes. I mean, do you think there'll be an accusation without proof? I mean, you're accusing the police force.
It's still an allegation. It is proven. Yeah.
All right, so speak to the fact that we have bad eggs in the police. It's something that we have been trying to curb for a long time. There are good ones.
One was removed recently by way of a verdict given that is sentenced to death. The one, the policeman that killed
the lawyer
Vandy.
Yeah.
So the more they remove and as in extricate these bad eggs, the better for them and Nigeria as a whole. Truth is this: over the years, they've not covered themselves in much glory. The Nigerian police, an average Nigerian, loathes seeing any one of them, and rather than improve their image per time, they rather go even abysmally lower than before. Can they go any lower than this? You still imagine. What are the headlines that come from them? Isn't that they don't do anything good at all? At least I know of RRS. If there is a professional body anywhere in Nigeria, the RRS in Lagos, once led by Tunji Egbedokun, the current IG, before he handed over to Tunji Disu, they still do very well. But you can't expect just one aspect to do well while the other 9 or 10 aspects are not doing well. So it's incumbent on the authority now to ensure that this is done. And first too, this River State can generate before, I mean, can go worse than this. They've not even resolved the death of the DPO Ambashin, and yet we have this 80 million. I don't want to believe that the man in question now, Atsubi, making this allegation can't be that flippant. 80 million is no joke, but let him prove really with evidence, as Henry has said. But then let the Nigerian police also be aware that you can't keep this image over year in, year out. It doesn't bode well with them, not at all. They've got to do something. I'm happy that the verdict that sentenced Ofandi to death came and it became known, because we want a case where justice must be done and must be seen to be done. He has a right of appeal, but even at that, let the media now ensure that they follow the story to the very conclusion.
All right, so Henry, this is coming from Rivers State again. a place where just the other day we heard a policeman was killed, and there were fingers pointing at some police officers that were said to have betrayed the ASP Angbashin, that they sold him out. Now, that is still an allegation. That is still, because it just felt like some things were going on the ground. There seemed to be complicity in some quarters with the criminals involved. Now, here we are again. What does this tell us as to the activities of the police in that state?
Well, my response to this is that the structure of the society determines what you get. The police is an embodiment of Nigeria as it is. See, the society has been broken down, no values anymore. Okay. You see, it pains me. I'm not a police officer, and I don't speak of police. When people single out the police alone,
you look like one, because
I am not. So when they single out the police alone, have you gone to the custom? What's happening there?
No,
I'm not
yes,
a police.
we'll touch on the customs.
I'm coming there. I'm coming there, sir. Go to politicians. What are they doing? Police Service Commission. These police officers I'm talking about, I have a lot of friends there in the police. Okay. I want you to look at their welfare. Look at the welfare of ordinary citizens of Nigeria. What does citizenship mean to a Nigerian? So the society brings out all these things that the IG said, I have tigers and whatever in my midst. Who is feeding them? Corruption.
But Henry, these guys go out there and they do stellingly well. Nigerian police, anytime they go abroad, they are always coming back with the very best of reports. So what happens?
Yes. The same societal
are
issue.
Are you saying it is this crime that they commit is fostered by lack of good welfare?
It's not just them. Nigerian society is
so we blame the society now for the misbehavior
we blame
of the police force.
Our system, not just the police force. Every sector of Nigeria is misbehaving because there appears to be vacuum of leadership. There appears to be a vacuum of absence of values that we are known in the past. So when you single the police alone, just get the stations. Let me tell you.
No, we're not singling out the police alone.
The issue that is
our focus today is on the police, because this is an agency of government that is supposed to uphold the law. So now, if this agency of government that is meant to uphold the law is breaking the law, shouldn't we be worried? Should we be blaming the Nigerian people, the society, for the misbehavior of an agency of government meant to uphold the law?
There's one proverb in my language that says, that means somebody's vomiting.
Okay.
You want to cure that. Try to find out the catalyst to that vomit.
Okay.
That's what I say. When you say police, we are just looking at police, but something behind.
Are you aware that reports has come out in time past that the policemen that mount roadblocks, collect money from people, remit back at the office. They remit to their superiors. You say you have friends there.
Okay, now let me ask you, sir. Have you ever been able to investigate and find out how do they?
Please tell me.
How do they fuel? How do they fuel?
Friends there.
How do they carry out the logistics to get to the road? Who funds that? Who funds that?
Taxpayers' money provides for that.
It does not. Who does it reach to?
Taxpayers' money provides for that.
This is the secret you don't know.
Please tell me the secret.
They tell you bail is free, right?
Yes.
But I'm just paying or not. And the government knows this. Police Service Commission knows this. The society knows this, and everyone keep quiet. And today I have issued the police station.
So are you trying to tell me?
Henry, you are a journalist, and it's only natural that as a fourth estate of the realm, as you guys pride yourself, it's only for you to do more of investigation.
We'll talk about truth.
And tell them truth that you edit. Anyway, going back to Moses' question, how that is there complicity? This easily leads to the 80s when there was a certain George Iyamu, a police officer that worked hand in hand with Anini that terrorized Nigerians. Anini, one of the most notorious robbers in the history of armed robber in the history of Nigeria. So it's not starting today. It's like almost a culture. But I'm not going to disregard the good things they've done too, because sometimes they may seem as though they are cancers to us. But during NSAS, when they were not available, we felt their impact. As much as we don't desire some of them being around, but when they are totally absent, we know that we feel them. They are the first point of contact. Anything that goes wrong, is this Nigerian police? Maybe they're overwhelmed. If you go by the UN standard, an average country should have 1 policeman to 400 citizens. But here in Nigeria, it's almost like a policeman to more than 2,000 people.
It depends me when
maybe
people...
they're overwhelmed. I agree with that. But then, it's only natural that whatever good they do to, we bring it to the fore. But in this case of Rivers, they've got to tidy up this mess immediately. Nothing more, nothing less.
See, I'm not defending what happened in Rivers State. But it depends me when people...
But that's
No. It's not about the police force. I'm telling you how the society is gone.
In Rivers State, you're blaming it on the people.
No, see, the society, I'm talking about society.
We are the society,
Good,
you and I.
The society produces the police. I'm not discussing the fact that there are bad eggs, both in the police and every other society, you understand? But it depends on when you want to compare Nigerian police with the American police, British police and Nigerian police.
It's a human society.
No.
Are we less human?
Please, Moses, allow him that.
The system is different. Organization is different. Regulation is different. Even the environment is different. The culture is different. The values are different. So just take your step and get to the UK. You'll be proud to be a police officer.
But we still have criminal elements in the UK.
It's not as pronounced
we
as
still
here.
have people that have been accused of killing people, resting their knees on people's
racism.
necks.
George Floyd comes to mind. George Floyd in America comes to mind. There was George Floyd killed by Nigerian police, American police.
That's racism. Listen to me, sir. That's racism. Here in our society, we are all blacks. We have tribalism, ethnicity, regionalism here. So why do you blame them? It's a global issue.
Let me understand this. Let me understand you on this now. A man is accused of taking another man's property. What belongs to another man, which in commonsensical language is stealing. And you're telling me that it's not his fault that he stole the man's property. It is the society that did not give him tools to work that would make him steal another man's property. Am I getting you right?
No, you say a man is accused of something, right?
Yes.
He has proven that he has done this. That's allegation. So that's why you have the court system, the judicial system, the judiciary. See, I'm not one that pander to social media rant and all that.
No, this is not social media.
I'm just telling you generally. I believe in reality.
Okay,
truth, not by conscience.
There was Moses here also just pointed to another police officer who has been indicted for embezzling money and was sentenced. Okay, no, that was on the news yesterday. That was on the news yesterday.
Talking of vendetta.
No. There was another one. I can't get the story now. There was another policeman who embezzled a certain amount of money, and he's been sentenced. Now, if I get that,
I think you're talking about an army general.
An army general, well, security agent.
Okay.
You know, now
the societal issue too. That's it.
You know what,
every segment of Nigeria, there's a disconnect.
Henry, your analogy is flawed when you want to make a case of two wrongs make it right.
No.
Society, let me put this to you. I want to go a bit into football. I remember in the 70s, Brazil was one of the worst countries you can imagine, one of the worst countries on earth. They had a very terrible dictatorship in power. But even from that same Brazil, the finest football team ever emerged from that morass. You're about to say something that from a very black, dirty pot, you come the pack very white. So even from the very morass of society, there can still come out some good. Jesus was to be asked, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Something good come out of Nazareth. So something good come out of Nigeria.
There are still good Nigerians. There are still good Nigerians.
Of course there
are. But I told you,
there are still good policemen too.
Fine and good.
Is it not the same society that affects them as well?
You see, people are different. People are different, and people have different upbringing. Everybody may have been stealing, and I say it's not part of me. That does not mean that everybody here is a thief. That's the way it's being presented. I said these issues have been a Nigerian question. Moral decadence, lack of direction, everything that started from the beginning after independence. Let's history back. In the beginning, it was not so. And see, in those days, during the time of Fela and so on, he was singing Nigeria, and this and that, and we felt it was just a joke. We are walking into it now. Okay. Check your political system now. What was gross about the ones in the past? They had their flaws.
Okay, now let's okay. So moving forward now, it's according to you, the society
the structure of society determines direction.
All right, so the society has given birth to criminal police officers.
Not just police officers. A society that is not trusted. Go to UK now. Your green passport, even anywhere. I mean, you ask yourself, why am I Nigerian? I'm just telling you.
Okay, so now, in your opinion,
You ask, is it an offense to carry a green passport? You ask yourself that question. Oh, I'm a Nigerian, but you should be proud to be a Nigerian. That green passport, dance you already. In the beginning, it was not so.
You are speaking
In the beginning, it was not so.
You are speaking
it's not vague.
So, excuse me, please.
I don't want us to speak on Nigerian problem as personally the police or the army or the teachers. Whatever. No.
Personally, I'm going to reiterate this. Personally, we are treating this particular issue because this involves law enforcement agents whose sole responsibility is to protect, safeguard, all right? That's their sole responsibility. Protect lives and property. Safeguard the Nigerian people from whose taxes they are paid. Now, to hear or to experience one whom your money is being taken from you to pay for or to pay is now coming to rob you, that should be troubling.
You know what?
But before I get your view now, I would like Henry to also give us a way out now. This is where we are.
Moses, sorry. Listen. What I always frown at when we analyze this perennial issue of whataboutism. Oh, we are dealing with just one issue, but there's a way we want to wind around that issue, other things that are not necessarily relevant at that point in time. A sore finger should be treated as such. Cut it off. Not necessarily cut the entire hand off. If you rub in the Nigerian society, it's the reason we have this bad policemen, a bad police system. It's not entirely incongruous with what we are discussing. I single the police in reverse state. Is there any other issue with any police force in another part of the country right now? That is not in the news. So let us tackle this headlong. I call on the AIG, as an acting Inspector General of Police, to act and act fast. He claims he has both a tiger and lion living in him. Let them act now.
So the case is in court. So we do believe that the AIG will act as the case is in court. Let's hope so. Yeah. And this is not a fight against Henry.
No. So my take here is the law is there in the land. There's constitution here. The guys, whatever we do here, it should be applied to the latest.
Before you go on, tell me about your friends in the police force.
They're nice guys, good guys.
But have they complained to you about the remuneration not being enough, their families not being taken care of, the barracks being dirty, them living a life of paupers? Have they made those complaints to you?
Can I throw a question to you, sir? Can I respond to the question? Before NSAS, have you gone around police stations? And yes. What do you say today? After NSAS, what do you say?
What should I see? I don't know.
In the police stations, have you gone there have you seen police stations now that are having kind of uniform look? The stations?
Yes.
Was it that before NSAS?
It was.
It was not.
It was the
same.
If
it was so, it was dilapidated. Completely
it was dilapidated. Most of those that were affected
because of the issue, they had to give the police a new face.
A facelift. Yes.
Fine.
Most of those that were burnt were
not just them. Almost all of them renovated and given a kind of uniform appearance now. So next question, you're asking me if my friends have told me, but I tell you, I wouldn't say a friend. Do you know that when you pass out from the police college, you're given a boot, given a shirt and other things? Yet once that one tear, you take care of it. But in the US, it wasn't so. He was making reference to the US.
Okay, so can I also ask something? I mean, since you are in close contact with some policemen, I also have
not the policemen. I'm very close contact with everybody.
With everybody, okay.
Yeah.
So am I.
Good.
I also know that in as much as these guys are not properly paid, I mean, some of us are not properly paid too. I don't know if you're properly paid as a journalist. Are you properly paid?
See, we talk about the
okay, good. Okay, so now let me ask you this now. How is it that some of these police officers make daily contributions of 40, 50,000 naira daily, and they are not properly paid?
I'm not aware. If you're aware, please tell us, yes, sir.
Oh, I thought you had friends there, so I would have told you. Well,
those friends are not part of it. So, that's it.
All right, so what's the way forward now?
Yeah, the way forward is just like we have the political class system now, okay? Let the law, let everybody be under the law. Nobody should be above the law. Nobody should be above the law. From the president to the last person, everybody must be law abiding.
And policemen from extorting people's money.
The law is there. The law is there.
For me, Moses.
Sorry, sorry, sir, please. The law is there.
Okay.
Even if they're UK, they take bribe, but they take it to a very far place where there's no camera. Maybe 1 or 2 pence.
Does that make it even better?
No. What I'm telling you is, no. What I'm saying is that the crime rate is reduced. Police have respect there, regard. Other forces have. But here, it's like a custom, it's tradition. Even at the main road, even at the stadium, you see the
why
unit.
so? Why? That's why we're talking about
I'm talking about the law. I'm talking about law. If there's law in this country,
Okay, so it's because there's no law.
there's a law society, please.
And the reason the police extort people is because of this society.
That's why the society is bad.
I don't live in
Okay.
a jungle,
Moses, please.
and I take exception to that. There are laws. And
Nobody's obeying the law.
There are laws in the country, and there are laws that are being carried out on a daily basis. Sometimes I tell people that, look, sometimes if you want to really know, let me go the local way now, local balance. So I want to know that after God and government, I dare you, just go to the express, a trunk A road, you misbehave there, then you know the federal might, the might of the government. They act. Yeah, can they do better? For sure. I still want to stay with this particular River State issue. Not even up to a month that Angbashim was killed in the most gruesome manner, of a month or thereabout, and this issue came. Let the Nigerian police at the highest authority level now, let them zoom in their sight like on what is going on in River State, and ensure that it is thoroughly dealt with. Tunji Egbedoku, you did a very good job as an RRS man here in Lagos. You want to translate the same on a national scale because posterity will surely come back to judge.
Sure.
So it's incumbent on him right now to ensure that this is dealt with in the most professional manner, and then Nigeria will move on. There is no Nigeria. If you fail to carry, to do what you should do, you will be apprehended. So that's just my take for now.
All right then. Okay, so Henry. Henry's of the opinion that the society should,
It's a societal problem.
it's a societal problem. Society should obey the laws of the land.
There should be law to be obeyed.
Okay, and then
nobody
if we-
should be above the law. From the president to the last person, nobody should be.
And that will make the police behave better.
I say everybody's under the law. That's okay.
Okay. So if we are all under the law, then we'll behave better. All right then. Thank you very much.
But some people enjoy immunity. Especially in the office.
That is not good in society. In the UK, when the Prime Minister misbehaves, you see him resigning.
All right.
Yes.
All right then. Let's get on to our second topic for this morning. All right. Now on our second story, the National Examination Council on Tuesday released the results of the 2023 Internal Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination, with a record of 61.0% of candidates scoring 5 credits and above, including English and mathematics. However, the Examination Council disclosed that 93 schools were found to be involved in whole school mass cheating, while 52 supervisors were recommended for blacklisting due to poor supervision, aiding and abetting during the examinations. Now, the registrar and chief executive officer of NECO, Professor Dantani Wushishi, disclosed this while announcing the release of the results of the examination. Wushishi said the erring schools would be invited to the council for discussion, after which appropriate sanctions would be applied. Now, there's the figure given. He did say that 1,196,985 candidates, representing 616,398 males and 580,587 females sat for the examination, adding that 1,543 candidates with special needs also sat for the examination, including some albinos and other people. But here we are, societal problem.
I can't stop laughing.
Education
Let me laugh.
Education
I can't just stop.
I
stop
adjust
laughing.
my seat for you.
Yeah, good.
It's examination malpractice.
This is not the police now. All right?
Examination
Good.
malpractice. It's eating deeper into the fabric of our society. Now, you are an educationist. And how would you speak to the fact that students make little time to study, and institutions, both schools and vocational schools,
Centers.
aid them, even parents aid the aid the students to pass exam by hook or by crook just to gain admission. That's one thing. How do you speak to that?
Well, let me just still go back to what NECO really is about, because that's the issue at hand. For a body that was established in April 1999 under the then outgoing government of Abdul Salam, and they conducted their first exam in mid-2000, 23, 24 years after, how have they fared? Have they truly carried out what they were established for? They were to support WAEC, because WAEC was and still remains a West African body. Hence, there are some lapses. So NECO came in there. That was why some exams conducted by WAEC then junior WAEC, NECO took it over, National Common Entrance, NECO has taken over now. How have they fared, as I've said, in 24 years? Give and take, maybe fairly well. Can they do better? Yes. The result that was released yesterday or 2 days ago was about 13 or 14 days after the stipulated day. On the average, their convention, whether WAEC or NECO, they released their result 45 days after the last paper. And if we go by that, they should have released the result on the 26th of September this year. But just coming out, I think October 11th or 10th now. And this has a way of delaying. Because over time, I have advocated that all exam bodies from JAM to NECO to WAEC, NAPTEP, they should work in tandem. They should know, oh, this, and okay, when is your exam coming up? When do you do this? So that it will not affect adversely these candidates. I have some candidates and they are worried. A particular boy is University of Uyo bound, but he was explaining that NECO should have released well. Yeah, as last night I called him, I asked him, have you seen the result? Yes, he was happy, but it was equally sad, mixed emotion, that the result is very good, but he doesn't know whether the portal that has been closed in Uyo will open up. Because according to Uyo management, University of Uyo management now, they were working with the 45 days ultimatum. So once 45 days ceased, they closed the portal. So where do you put such a boy? He's been endangered. And this is not the first time Professor Wushishi will be apologizing. It's almost like a recurring thing now. 2 years ago, they did that. I could rescue them for 2020, SARS and COVID. You understand? In fact, some exams were postponed that year. Oh, they've come out this time around 7%, 0.6% passed in both English and maths. Last year, about 67%. 2 years ago, about 64%. It dwindles. I'm not even concerned about that. If you do what you should do as a student, the candidate, you excel. But let them not be the hindering, as in the stumbling block for these kids. If our kids, when they misbehave out there, or you have some parents trying to help them as destroying them, it's understandable. But when it is the exam body that stands as the hindrance to their success, then it's unfortunate. Let them put their house together. If 45 days is not feasible, let us know. Rather than make it look as if 45 days time, you get a result, and you now delay them. Who will account for the 1 year that he most likely will wait for again? Who does that?
Okay, now I understand your need to vent on this because you are in close contact with the students.
Yeah.
So I understand that. But we're talking about examination malpractice.
Malpractice.
On a scale that involves hundreds of people.
Moses, don't believe bodies. The bodies have always acted. We know what happened with JAM.
On a scale that involves an entire school. An entire school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as Henry would say, it's a societal problem. Now, how do you speak to that? We're not talking about the NECO not releasing results on time, which is something that should be addressed. I absolutely agree. But has our moral level gone so low that those that are supposed to uphold the moral grounds, those that are supposed to instill knowledge, are now padding, just move on to the next level? From
your prologue, you've said it all. It is for one person to commit a crime. It is for the law enforcing body to apprehend and possibly prosecute. They've identified the schools and they've been blacklisted. So what else should they do? I mean, look at the JAM Nisioma case. It's a human society. It is for you to always want to. If there's a mechanism that will curb crime, let the criminal still go out there. If you think you are daring enough, but be assured that you will be caught.
Now, do you think the mechanism to curb this particular crime has been effective enough?
It's been effective, yes. I will use the JAM issue, Nisioma case. They did a very sterling job. And NECO right now is doing a very good job. I know very well that, I think that was in 1996 or 7, I out of a school where a particular girl was apprehended with live answers in math, and math is a very major subject. Because one person, they almost cancelled out the entire result of the school. But people pleaded, you can't become, and that girl was, of course, dealt with.
Right,
Others
so
had their result released.
Let's have Henry's view on this.
Okay, I want to ask my colleague here.
No. Just respond to it. Don't ask.
My response is that I think somebody goofed there. It's not a board, there's a catalyst to this exam practices. It's a societal issue. Yeah. Because you see what? Look at our election, just last election. What did you see? The same cheating.
Harry.
No, hold on. The same cheating.
What can we do to the society now to stop
Good.
this?
I said where there's respect, that's dignity.
No, but that's not what we can do.
No, that was where there is law, there is functional, active law. Everybody will come under the law. You dare not do it. For example,
what can we do? You're not giving me
enforcement of the law.
Who enforces the law?
The sole responsibility, those who is responsibility to enforce the law.
Who?
The police, the army,
That are
the
corrupt?
forces.
Are you taking us back? No, don't take us back to
I'm not
the
taking us
first
back. No.
before.
Once the law is there operating and is active, everybody will come under the law.
All right.
And you have a sane government.
My own
The government does not
tip is
flop the
this.
law.
My
Does
own
not-
tip
does
is
not-
this. The schools that were blacklisted, was it not because they were apprehended?
Now, let's...
There are many of them that are not apprehended
That's
now.
one
Right.
school. That's the schools. And then the invigilators. That's another thing.
52 of them.
52 invigilators.
Where are they now?
What do you think was the motivation? Money?
Greed, avarice, lack of morals, and all of this. But as I've said, it is inhuman to commit crime. But it's also inhuman, those who have better thinking, to apprehend them and put them where they belong.
Okay.
NECO has done this bit. Year in, year out, any result released, you always find out that, oh, some schools have been blacklisted. And I've confirmed this, they've proven to be true again and again.
Blacklisted schools.
Oh, yes.
So
oh, yes.
What happens to them eventually? Are they reopened? Are they allowed to
If your
conduct
school is
examination?
blacklisted, let me say this authoritatively. If a school is blacklisted and maybe some unsuspecting candidates maybe go there years after, they can rest assured that the result from that school will never be good at all. Never. Because that school is under suspicion.
How long does a blacklisting last?
Sometimes it lasts for about, it depends on the gravity of the crime. Most, as in the limits about the maximum is 10 years. 10 years. But it goes
Is it published? This information
They
is
make it available. Yes.
Okay.
So all the boards, Subeb, UBEB and the like, they let them that these schools, you advise, they only do that way. You advise not to allow your ward write an exam here. If I want an internal exam, because this one's an internal exam for SSC candidates. When it's an external candidate, and when private candidates do that, it's another ball of kettle of fish entirely. But here, they ensure that once they blacklist the school, they let the school know that you are not in good time with us. Your option on you right now is bad. So please, the advice, don't let your kid write an exam there. But some people are defiant. They go ahead and stay right there. And the result there will never come out good. So they carry out this law to the letter.
But it still comes out.
But then,
The result still comes out.
they come out, yes.
So
but
what-
then, because that school has been blacklisted,
What then is the essence
nothing
of
good.
blacklisting?
The truth is that you paid
So
to buy the
the
force.
school will still collect
Coming out
money.
from where?
No,
Pardon?
excuse me.
There's no
please.
requirement from
Excuse
where?
me, Excuse me.
From NECO, of course, or WAEC.
Excuse me,
Yep.
please. All right.
As in, if a school has been blacklisted,
God,
they let the
that's
school is aware, they know. Like the schools are in question and they know. But they will not stop you from
Now, the
still buying.
reason I asked if this information is made public is it announced on the examination board's portal that these schools have been blacklisted. So pupils or students should not go there to
They make
write
it
exams.
available to the board in charge.
That's way the school will not be able to make money off students. But if you're making it available to the boards in charge, the SUBEC and the rest of them, they're not making money from those boards.
they're not.
They're making money from the students. So they will still put up banners and say, come and register to write your NECO and you will pass. And students will still take their monies there.
It's
so
not
what
for,
use then
it's not for
is the
NECO,
blacklisting.
It's not for NECO, WAEC. They don't deal with schools directly. They deal with boards. The boards that govern those schools. And they let those boards do that. This school is an erring school. And these are the ban on them. But maybe now I'm forced to tilt with Henry's argument that it's a societal thing.
You should
Some still go
accept.
behind.
Nobody forced you.
They say no.
That's the right ground.
The truth is
That's the right ground.
in this
society is
case,
down.
I may be for no.
That's the
To
truth.
agree that it's entirely
See?
down is not true. There are some things.
Did you see even the board?
The
Is
board
that in
now,
the board now?
they compromise.
From
I
his
am in
analysis
this
now.
field, so
You get-
I can't as in tolerate or condone any mess around the field. Some board members still compromise with something, even when they know that these schools are erring.
And the Nigerians.
Well, I don't know about that. But there are some Nigerians that have chosen to do what is right, and I am one of them. I have students year in, year out. If you don't pass because you read or didn't of hard work, then you don't deserve to pass. So that's what I propagate. That's what I tell them. And again, when we have the likes of Professor, what's his name, Oloyede, and we have very morally upright people in charge, in no time this one will become history. But I don't apprehend schools or punish them, they do that. But how they get out of it again and again, it's entirely, as what you call now, a system thing. If the system are rid of these bad eggs, in no time, everything will be fine.
All right, Henry, I can see you're itching to latch onto.
I can't help laughing again. Because from what he's saying, he's coming back to what it felt was nebulous, my explanation here, that this is actually a societal problem, where there is rule of law.
That sounds simplistic. Well, you can't use one brush to paint all things black. So that's why I'm not agreeing with you. And this society is just too vague.
You see, the issue there is that to every Nigerian, get it from me, to every Nigerian, there's always a flaw. Because the law is not there, the law is there, but nobody is respecting the law. And the law respects some people, some don't respect the law. If you're money bag, you're above the law. It doesn't happen anywhere.
All right, so but you're not preferring solutions.
Governors have been sent to jail. Governors have been sent to jail. Senators have been sent to jail. So I don't agree with that position.
Are you aware of plea bargaining? Are you aware of plea bargaining?
It is part of the law. It is not an extra thing but the law. So to posit that law in Nigeria don't work, it's not entirely true.
And this is not work. Nobody is respecting the law. The enforcement is what I'm talking about. Once you're money bag, you're above the law. You can buy the law here.
I don't believe that.
But I know we have a solid law.
Someone won an election in my area at the expense of a money bag. We didn't vote for the money bag.
All right, so if we're going to continue talking like this, I will have to end the show. Please, let's observe a decorum.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Henry, please continue with your line of thought.
So what I'm saying is that it's still a problem of society. Now the solution is there should be law that's above every human being in Nigeria, that govern Nigeria as Nigerians.
And Nigerians have not been abiding by the law.
See, if you're a money bag, you can purchase law.
That's the only thing
Yeah.
All right then. So, Moses, let me come back to you now. There's this issue of English and maths being compulsory. Should we still be compelling our students to pass English and maths before they can get admission into English and maths, along with other subjects that are in line with what they want to study? Shouldn't we move beyond that? I do understand that in some parts of the world now, English is not a major for students to pass. Even maths, as it is not a major. It is, dependent on a whole lot of other factors. What do you say to this?
Well, you can't deny the universality of this subject. It's not for fun they label maths as a queen of science. And you know how universal English, as a matter of fact, in United Nations, where you have 6 major languages, English, French, Mandarin, Arabic, Portuguese, and Spanish, and Russian, English even stands out, thanks to some factors. The strongest countries in the world, America, Britain, they speak English, and more like that. But we can't deny the fact that they are universal in scope. Hence, our requirement that they should still pass them. I know that on the surface, yes, it is well pronounced, but there are some allowances. For engineering for example, I had reason to delve into that in the past. The school I went to then, the Polytechnic, before I went to the university later, they always give you a concession, especially in English. It was P7 then, now it's D7. If you had P7 then, you enter, if you have all the other subjects, physics, chemistry, and the like, you will be given admission, but on the condition that before your 4 semesters, in your international diploma, you must have, the English must be there. So I know that there are some schools that still do that, but they don't make it so pronounced. But as I've said, their importance you can't underestimate. They are so important because all other subjects wound around them. There's virtually except for subjects, maybe you do Yoruba, you offer Igbo, Hausa. Every other subject in Nigeria is taught in English, and that is where I've always faulted our policies. Over the years, it shouldn't have been a crime if our eggheads have developed mechanisms whereby some of these languages can be taught in our mother tongue. I know that Professor Bafafuwa and some other professors after him that came in education, they tried it, but it never saw the light of the day. In Japan, for example, they teach the chemistry subject that have all these tongue-twisting names in Japanese. Germans do the same thing. Why haven't we localized ours? That is where the problem lies, really. If we've taken time to localize some of these big words, whether they came from French or Latin,
exactly,
it would have been better.
Do you think the students will assimilate better?
Far better. Though I know that some states now have adopted the policy of teaching in mother tongue. In fact, there are days that are devoted to. In their House of Assemblies, you have days whereby they speak only the language of that state. At least officially now. So they are bringing it down to schools. But how strong will they be? That's the question. Because during Babsat for a time, he tried this, but after a while, it fizzled out. Hopefully, they've restarted it. If they continue it, then the better for us. But I just want to hope that it will not fizzle out. That's why I always argue that education should not be a major deal with the federal government. It is concurrent. We have federal universities, state universities, federal police, state police. Let them work according to their pace. This issue of it must all come from the federal. JAM is fast within relevance, as far as I'm concerned. Because if I have a student that will write JAM now, conducted by the federal government, but will aim to enter LASU or OOU or Ambrose Ali University, does it make any sense? Why do you think most universities today, they really focus more on their post-JAM, on their screening, than what JAM is presenting? So it's about time they broke the monopoly of JAM. One, and localize, domesticate all of this. And it will help our education and will produce better heads in future.
All right then. Henry, let's speak on the emphasis on certificates to get employment. Please don't tell me it's a societal problem.
don't blackmail Henry now. What is it?
We seem to lay emphasis on presentation of certificates before people can get employment. And they ask you, in some cases, you should have some years of work experience. And one would wonder, how do you even get the years of work experience if you are not allowed to start working in the first place? Now, let's speak to this emphasis on certificates, really. Don't you think that is what is making a lot of parents bundle their children, package them, push them through the system so they get to come out, whether or not they are proficient enough?
He's laughing.
Don't say it.
So this issue, no, it's my friend,
Okay.
Yeah, this issue of certificate is what led this country to where we are today. Politically, internationally, we are being mocked. Take it or leave it. If you travel out, say you're Nigerian.
How so?
Certificate man, that's the next thing. Indian will tell you. Certificate man, go this way. So I think it's the breakdown of society too, because we ought to have queued with at least
But you promised not to mention societal. Societal problem.
So Professor Fafuma's policy then, if we are rolling, no government comes and discard what the government have done. You build on it and fine-tune it. But here in Nigeria, PDP will come tomorrow, they will destroy whatever foundation AP have laid. That is our problem. Certificate doesn't mean anything if you are Indian. What he wants is what you can do. So when I talk of years of experience, I believe I want to work here today. What is the processes I'm bringing in? What are the changes I'm bringing in? What is the vision? Am I going to queue into it or not? First of all, before certificate. Not even certificate, I can go to Chicago and get one for you.
You know what? Sorry.
You get?
Once, I think you asked me this question, and I told that I once ran a program, though we ran out of gas. I'm talking of Capital now, where we had certificate versus certificate. Now that certificate is a case of local balance now.
Yeah.
Do you sabi? Are you really good on the job with that one certificate? What will make China convert about 600 universities to polytechnic?
That is the point.
What will make Britain 2 decades ago convert all their polytechnics to university? What we still lack again, I would say, is that we lack what we call national policy thrust. What exactly do we look at as a nation? What is our goal? What do we want to do? Whatever we want to do, all other fast sectors must work in tandem. When America was to go to the moon, because of course they had been beaten to it, the space race by Russia when Yuri Gagarin went to space. So America felt, okay, you could go to space, we'll go higher. So it was a national obsession. So that because they wanted to go to the moon, from the lowest cadre to the highest, they taught science. Whether you are of humanities, I'm talking of arts and commercial class now, you still will know a bit of science because they wanted to carry the entire nation. And in less than a decade, they got it done. Because it was a national thrust, and all education parastatals were working in tandem with that. Britain, why they convert their police to university, they became a consulting economy. So they felt that polytechnics is about manpower, vocational skills, artisanship. So we don't need them for now. China is the manufacturing hub of the world today. There's hardly anything in anybody's home today that is not from China. Because they feel, okay, if we are going to really produce more for the world, then we need manpower. Hence, they converted 600 universities to polytechnics. So you can say that these are countries that they have what they have. They have a goal. They work towards it. And their universities, police, they work in tandem with them. But here, they are still not well ironed out.
Why so?
Because, anyway, maybe our diversity problem. Maybe our diversity. Because if today I decide to go to Henry's village, where they believe in society, I'm sorry for that, and I want a case where I want to learn some subjects. Because I don't speak his language, I may start feeling maligned. And it should not be so.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be so. Some students in Lagos today, many of them wonderful kids, are of Igbo descent, Hausa descent. If they tomorrow say, okay, tomorrow we'll start teaching all subjects in Yoruba, you can rest assured that Nigerians say, oh, they want to make them turn into Yoruba by force. You know how we think. You know how we think here. So until we jettison all this pettiness, this petulance, we'll not go anywhere.
All right then. All right. So time is our time is up on the show, but let's quickly get your final thoughts on this, Henry. Your final thoughts on the topics we've shared so far, especially the one that concerns the leaders of tomorrow, the students.
Leaders of tomorrow.
Yeah, especially the students not being able to pass examination without assistance from invigilators and parents having to bribe the students' way through examination into school and out of school.
I would say in the beginning it was not so. I will use that word all the time. Nigeria wasn't that way, wasn't pressured that way. But it's a failure of the same system where there's no vision, no national focus, no national dream.
All right.
Always you got to make say American dream. That's not a Nigerian dream. That's the problem.
Okay. All right, Moses.
Well, I will always have renewed trust, renewed hope, renewed whatever. I don't believe that we won't get it right. We'll get it right if the federating units, even the micro units, if they come together, we'll build a great nation. If we still have this fragmented way of thinking, oh, one is thinking up north, one is thinking down south, then we're endangered, but we don't want to remain so.
All right, then I must say a very big thank you to you, gentlemen. Henry Ugochukwu, social affairs commentator, journalist, and minister of God.
Thank you so much.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
It was
not so, yeah. It's in the Bible that way.
And also Moses Orishajolobi Adebayo, who is an educationist and also a public affairs commentator. Thank you very much.
Pleasure's mine. Thank you.
Well, that's the show for today. We do hope that things will change for the better, and Nigeria will, take its pride of place in the community of nations. On behalf of the team, I am Moses Humphrey, wishing you a beautiful day and asking you to stay on as we do have some more programs coming up after this. Bye-bye for now.